Hello, my name is Reed and today we're doing Inktober. So this is day 7 and today I'm doing a kind of scarecrow inspired piece with a kind of Dorothy girl and a scarecrow. So yeah, here I am just filling in the outline of the scarecrow's black cloak because I didn't want to go straight in inks in case I ruined her face, but I ended up kind of moving her nose a bit. But I'll go back in and finish that later, or fix that later. So yeah, I just decided I needed to fix up her headline because I forgot to draw in some things. And I was adding in some more black away from her face and then adding in the black Indian ink so that I don't have to go too close to the rest of the features so I don't mess them up. So here I'm adding more black, pure black Indian ink, so this isn't watered down at all. This is just straight black Indian ink. And I do another layer of this eventually, but I don't think I filmed that, anyway. Moving on to the other side, I didn't go over the edges with the black pen first because it was a pretty open blank area, so I didn't feel like I really needed to. So I just went straight in with black ink and try not to get as close to the edge so it doesn't leak through the other pages as it happened in some of my last ones. But yeah, because I'm not used to inks and watercolour doesn't really leak through all that much, but inks, if you get too close to the edge, they do. Here I'm choosing the heat gun because I'm not patient whatsoever and I like things to get dry fast. So just using that and then moving on to her dress. So I am slightly off camera. Halfway through I ended up adding a bit of tape on the bottom of my desk so I know where the bottom of the camera is. And I think I'm going to keep doing that from now on so I can actually see if I'm off camera or not, because I think that'd be a lot easier than having to check the camera all the time because I keep forgetting I get stuck into my work. But yeah, I'm just slowly darkening up the dress, making it the right shade that I want. So yeah, she's kind of inspired by Dorothy from Wizard of Oz because the dress is very similar to that. I just thought, Scarecrow, Dorothy, why the hell not? So yeah, I'm just darkening up the dress one more time because I still don't like how light it was. But yeah, I think this one was probably very interesting. This one's also very close to my current style. They are getting closer and closer to my current style, but still can use some work. Like, her face was slightly off and her hand, I had a lot of trouble drawing her hand today. I don't know what it was, but hands I cannot draw today. Normally I'm quite good with hands, but I just couldn't draw them today. Her hand is okay, but I could have been better. But, oh well, I mean, just live and learn, Not much I can really do about it. Here I'm just filling in her skin with a base colour, like I normally do. So yeah, once Inktober is over, I want to try and do one watercolour drawing each week. I don't think I'll have a set update, but I definitely want to try doing that because not only is it good to upload regularly, but as I said, it'll help me improve my art because, as I said earlier, with these videos, when I do a finished piece, I learn a lot more than when I do lots of separate pieces. Also, I had a lot of trouble drawing this crow, and I ended up just doing it completely off camera because I can take a video up and close and just draw it from a reference because I couldn't draw it. There we go, there's the crow finished with a bit of wheat grass next to it, like corn or whatever, something you'd grow in a field because she's in a field. But I kind of forgot to add grassy bits and I didn't really know how because backgrounds still aren't my strong point. I'm learning though. So I'm adding in her braid. Braids is something I don't do very often. Hair in general is something I'm going to get better at because it's really I realise I was off screen. But yeah, I think Inktober's really helped me a lot with improving and learning what I do need to improve. But yeah, I improved so much just in the month and a half that I drew all of these in, which is amazing. Oh, don't know what the hell happened there. Here I am adding in all the detail. This is not in real time at all, by the way. I just did this extremely slowly. Decided it wasn't close enough to the edges, so did it again, just going extremely slowly because this is sped up about 4 or 5 times. But yeah, as you can see, there's a little bit of tape there, but I'm still slightly off camera. But most of the braid you can see, it's just a little tuft of hair at the bottom that's off camera at the moment. But yeah, I think I'm really glad I did do this because honestly I thought I was doing pretty well, but now I'm seeing all the things I need to improve on, which is good because it's always good to see what you need to improve on so you can get better at being an artist. So here I'm just going over it with a bit of water just to lighten up those lines because they're looking a little bit dark compared to how light her hair was, which is always kind of a mid-tone, but you know. Here I am starting to add in shadows and fixing up her nose shape, making it a little bit smaller because the end of it was very round, which looked a bit odd because she didn't have enough bridge of a nose for that. I mean, someone's nose could look like that, it's just I'm not very good at facial diversity at this point. But you know, it's something I'm going to improve on, which I've kind of started doing during Inktober, but something I need to work on more still. But yeah, I highly suggest doing this if you want to see what you need to improve on and just have fun with an ink medium, because ink is not something a lot of artists use. It was very different because I assumed it would be a lot like watercolour, which is what I use a lot, but it's actually not that much like watercolour. It's its own medium. It's not quite slimy, but when you use it pure, it dries very shiny, whereas watercolour is completely matte, and I find it really hard to gradient with ink. I don't know why, because with watercolour I find it really easy to make a gradient, but with ink I actually really struggle to make a gradient with it, which is odd for me, but I'm enjoying using a different medium. I think next year I might do some colour, I might get some colour inks, but I don't know. I kind of like the way it looks with very little colour. Here I'm just adding some shading in, but it's very light at this point so you can't really see it. So yeah, definitely. Here I am adding in the pinks. I might get a magenta ink next time, I'm not sure, because this food dye works really well, but I like to see how an actual ink works in comparison. But yeah, this hack's still a pretty good idea, just for adding in a tiny bit of colour. Also, yes, I broke my nails, I haven't gotten around to it. Here I am just drawing in some of the details for her hands, giving her nails. As I said, I struggled with hands today, they didn't turn out quite right. They look almost slightly too big. Like, yeah, I know I draw them quite big, but normally I don't draw them quite that big. I draw them more kind of slendery and creepy looking. Yeah, I think they still look pretty cool because I haven't drawn hands in quite a while because I've just been working on all my inkings. It's been a while since I've actually just sat down and sketched something. But I'm going to do some sketches soon because I need to redo some of the sketches that I did that I no longer like. Plus I've got another project coming up that I need to work on at the same time as Inktober, so it's slightly hectic at the moment, but I think I can get it done. But yeah, here I am standing on the pumpkin head, or the jack-o'-lantern, I don't know, yeah. It's a jack-o'-lantern head. Yeah, so here I am adding in that slowly, just building up the darkness. Sorry, my voice is still kind of shit. I don't know what I'm doing, because like, I'm not quite sick, but I'm not sick either. So, I don't know, I'm kind of in this halfway state. Normally my voice isn't this croaky, so I apologise, and I prefer to watch voiceovers, and I want to make what I prefer to watch. So here I am starting to work on the background now. The voiceover is getting close to finished, because of the pieces. So I'm adding in these two wooden, so I want it to look like an old decrepit fence that are just kind of fallen apart, because one of them's fallen over and the other one's kind of broken off at the top, which you'll see in a second. But yeah, making that one slightly darker to match the other one, because I realised I made it a lot lighter. Adding in some wood texture to it, very faintly, because they're quite light colours, and I don't want them to take over too much from the foreground, which is the girl. So here I am adding in this plaid. Is it plaid? It's like a picnic blanket pattern. I don't know how you'd say that, like striped, no, not striped, checkered, no, not checkered, like, you know what I mean, because Dorothy's dress is a light blue with these checkered pattern on hers, so I thought I'll just add that in to make it look a little bit more like Dorothy, as well as giving it a longer version of her hair. See, I'm slightly off camera here. But yeah, I think at this point I was a little bit when it's getting done, because it was getting kind of late, but yeah. It's using the heat gun because this pink pen smudges a lot when if you put anything wet near it, it just smudges like crazy. So I use the heat gun on that really quick. And then I start to add in the gradient on the background, which is quite difficult considering it's ink, but I think I did an okay job. It's not the smoothest gradient in the world, but it's not terrible either. So I'm starting with the darkest colour near her and then making it lighter to give it an aerial perspective to make it look like she's in a very, very big field. I'm not too good at that though, because as I said, background's something I'm very new to, so... But I think I pulled it off okay. I at least think it looks like a background, like an aerial perspective field. Yeah, I think... So what I did for this brush is I noticed that people were using fan brushes to create these pine tree looking things, but the only fan brush I had was huge. So what I did is I got a really cheap brush that was flat, and I just cut out chunks of it to make it more sparse so it looked kind of like a fan brush. And then I used that to create the trees, which worked really well because the fan brush I had was huge and it wouldn't have worked because these trees are rather small considering I'm working on an A5 bit of paper and they're like an inch high. So yeah, just doing that, adding in the final touches to the background. Just adding in more trees. I add them in different colours to make it look like they're further back and forward, and breaks them up a little bit, giving them a more interesting effect. Just adding in. So I'm using mainly the last three colours, or the last three tones before pure ink. So the second darkest, third darkest, and the fourth darkest. Yeah. So you can see that there. I think I also used the fifth darkest at one point or another. I do not quite remember, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll let the rest of the voiceover play and then I'll see you guys in the outro. Thanks for watching. The result of day 7 of Inktober. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. I quite like this one. I think there are a few things I forgot and I could have done better, but I was kind of in a rush because I've got other projects I need to work on as well at the same time. But yeah, I still enjoyed this one. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget to take your paintbrushes out of your water, and I'll see you guys next time. Read out.